Hey guys, it's Vichan Dragon. So today's video I want to do discussion and pull recommendation for 2.2 banners. So this time between Cantarella, Camellya and Shorekeepers, and also I will include should you pull for the early sequence or get the signature weapon. So let's get started. So let's start first with the brand new character Cantarella. So Cantarella in general is very versatile and multi-roles character. I think this is the biggest strongest point on her right now, especially in Havoc. So if you want to make her as a main DPS can work, sub DPS can work, or even support that can work, and healer even she can work. I already try of them. Yeah, she do pretty much all pretty good. And also because of this versatility, she can just basically fit in most of the teams. Like even though they didn't same element, let's say you want to pair with Carlotta with Cantarella, it works, it's good. The clearance type also good. It along also with Changli works. You want to make Canterella as a main DPS and put along with Roksha, it works. Jinxie works. And yeah, most of the case it works. Even with Camellya, it also works in here. So because of that, she's just like very convenient. Like as a versatile character, you can just put in most of the teams in here. And I think good things about her is that her Concerto energy charge is actually really fast and feels smoother. I think the smoothest among all, because the one that really fast right now as far I can remember is Sanhua, right? But Sanhua is quite fragile and you need to follow a couple gimmicks, which is you need to break the ice, hold the button on the right timing. So sometimes it can be annoying. So that's also with Roksha, where sometimes when she want to plunge kinda easily to getting interrupted, but that's not the case with Canterella. Everything on her is smooth. Even it's getting interrupted, you don't need to make any build up, you don't need any setup, you just keep attacking and yeah, it just charge very fast again. So it's really convenient, I think, not just like fast but also feels smooth. So yeah, because of this benefit, she can just become another like bullet support bot, so that's also really good. Another thing is that because Cantarella also centric with the coordinate attack, then she can pair with any character that can be beneficial from the coordinate attacker, which is right now only Jinxie. Maybe in the future we'll have more, then yeah, Cantarella will be even more useful. As for her downside, or at least I can say things to note regarding her, is that I don't think she has a major downside, but I think the most thing that quite like problem in Cantarella right now, she doesn't have any direction, she doesn't have any place right now. Most of the case, she just become the alternative, never become like, oh, the best option. It's just like she can work, but she just feel everything just hanging, just cliffhanger in here. So she doesn't have any clear meta direction. Quite the same with Brand right now. Maybe their plan for this both of character for the future, but as per right now, it just doesn't feel clear at all. They can fit in most of the team, but when you say like, are they giving upgrade? Not. It's just a mostly alternative, or even some of them just worse. So because of that, it just feel like very hanging. Probably the only team that I think it can be upgraded with Jinxie along with Jeje, but I don't have Jeje, so I cannot really test. But I think that's the only team where I think it will become upgrade. Other than that, it's mostly only work as alternative. No, even with Camellya is just like quite the same if you want to pair with Roksha or even Sanhua. But again, it works. As for my recommendation for you to pull for Cantarella, which is first, if you still need a versatile and multi-purpose character at once, especially in Havoc purpose, then yeah, I think she will be one of the characters that you're looking for, because she's just very versatile. Any type of role, any type of team, she can just fit in here, which is I think really good. Second, if you need a character that fast concerto charge, like similar like Sanhua roles, you want another like second for the second team, then she will be also another good alternative, because she's charged very fast and even smoother I think than Sanhua, which is really good. And also maybe if you still need a coordinate attacker, similar case, let's say like Yinlin or even Jeje like type of roles, then you may pull for Cantarella. So this character are only beneficial only for Jinxie. Maybe in the future that beneficial also for coordinate attacker, then Cantarella also can be another good option for you to consider to pull. Another things also, if you're casual, I think Cantarella really good for casual, just because she can just become anything. You can just fit in most of the team. I think it's really good for casual, because casual mostly don't really care of being always the best, right? You just want to clear most of the time, and yeah, she can just fit in this role. Literally right now I have 3 different sets for her, and I can just like put in the random team, it works. And lastly, of course, if you like the character and gameplay, feel free to pull for her. As for Cantarella, should you get the early resonance chain or for the signature weapon, then I can say very depends on which route that you go. If you only plan to go to S1, then I recommend for you to get the signature weapon, especially if you don't have String Monster, Yinlin signature or Jeje's signature weapon. It's better for you to just get the signature weapon, because the damage increase is quite significant if you don't have that. Even you have that, it's still also pretty much a good upgrade compared to String Master. So because of that, if you only aim for S1, in general, I still recommend for you to pull for the weapon. And also it's 100%, so it's more safe. However, it doesn't mean that S1 is not great. It's actually still a good amount of damage increase, because it basically increased 50% from the Fortress Circuit. That skill is pretty good, and also have like immune to the interruption, so it's pretty much nice in general. However, the exception, if you plan in the future to get more copy until S2, then yes, you can just start to get the sequence. Then you can just get S1 and S2, because the S2 is actually pretty good. It's just basically buffing the resonance liberation, and also like the multiplier trigger increased by 245%. This is actually really big increase. So yeah, priority is that if you only plan to go to S1, then just get signature weapon. However, if you plan to go to S2, then you can just go with the sequence then. So second character is Camellya. So Camellya, for me, she is strong Havoc main DPS. I can even say like she is very strong Havoc main DPS. And she is actually really well covered in single target enemy and even AoE enemy though. You don't realize that her white form is for single target, and for the red form it's for the AoE. So because of this advantage, for current endgame, both Tower Thirsty and even like Whimpering Waste, Camellya is, for me, is the most reliable DPS just because this advantage. And I think she's the most consistent for both of these endgame. I think she's the best one, because some of them you can say like Jinxie really good at Tower Adversity, but Whimpering Waste, it's situational. I think this time she is relatively good just because also the buff and some of them, but previous one she is not really that great. So because of that, Camellya is always great in Tower Adversity, Whimpering Waste, so she is I think the most reliable compared to other main DPS. And also another thing is that she has an accessible like team. Like literally Havoc now is really well made in terms of teams. You can just decide to put either like with Sanhua, you can use Roksha, it can work. Even like Havoc Rover that free, it can work. Dungeon still can work. As for the healer is whatever, like you can just put Farina, and it's already become a very solid meta team. So yeah, because but she has so much different variation. And even right now, I forgot to mention is Cantarella. She also can work with Cantarella. So because of that, she's really have a lot of different variation of teams too. As for Downside, it's not really a big deal, but I think like if you play already a lot of Camellya, you will realize that her rotation sometimes can be annoying just because she has this animation lock where she need to spin, right? So if she get interrupted in there, sometimes it can be annoying because you need to build stack. And then if you need to build the stack again, it's kind of you start from the slow spin to the fast spin. It's kind of annoying a little bit, but it's not really a big deal. And sometimes you might be accidentally use a different form. Maybe you want the AoE form, the red one, you suddenly change into white. Sometimes it can be happen, and that's a little bit annoying, but I don't think that's really a big deal. As for my recommendation for you to pull for Camellya, which is first, if you still need a strong Havoc main DPS, then yeah, Camellya is one of them that I really recommend. And second is that if you still need DPS that well cover for both like Tower Adversity and Whimpering Waste, like you just like any DPS that can slay everything, then right now I think Camellya is the really right choice. Third, if you're maybe beginner or even free to play who want an accessible meta team, then you can consider Camellya. Camellya team I think general quite accessible for free to play, just because like you only need Sanhua and Farina, it's already meta team actually for her. And another thing is that if you really enjoy to playing two different form gameplay, which is like, you know, right, she has single target area, then maybe you will enjoy Camellya, because I think that's the interesting part from Camellya, you can changing the form. And lastly, of course, if you like the character and gameplay, feel free to pull for her. As for Camellya, should you pull for early resonant chain or the signature weapon? Then if you decide to go to S1, then I can say both S1 and signature weapon around the same value. But if you want me to become more specific, then signature weapon is a little bit better in terms of damage. However, this one, it's not only overing damage, but also will over you immune to the interruption while casting Ephemeral. This is basically when she explode and deal big damage. Yeah, this is basically not always useful, but it's also nice to have if you have, because sometimes the enemy will kinda interrupt you. So yeah, in the end of the day, if you want both quality of life and damage, then go for S1. But if you care only about just damage alone, then go for a signature weapon. However, of course, if you want to go for S2, then S2 already much better than signature weapon. But in the end of the day too, that I want to say to you that signature weapon always have benefit that 100%. So this one you still deal with 50-50. So I always kind of, if you just ask my personal like suggestion, I will always go with signature weapon first. And the last character, which is Shorekeeper. So a Shorekeeper in general is very good support and healer. Support by which means in here as a buffer, and the buff is also universal. It's not like same like Changli, Yinlin, or even Cantarella. It's only like, oh, only for skill, maybe only for resonance, like liberation. No, this one for every like damage, so it's actually really good. And she as a healer, she actually deal pretty good damage, but mostly of course from her special intro skill that you need to trigger and follow the gimmick. But yeah, in general, it's pretty good for the healer in terms of damage. And another thing that she can match in most of the team, basically all the team right now, she can just match, because we actually have crisis in healer and support like this. Literal only Farina. Like you can some extent say Baiji, but Baiji really cannot be reliable. So right now it's only like Farina and Shorekeeper is the one that two pillar hanging on this role right now. So yeah, that's why I say like this is the major positive also about her. So yeah, that's why like this kind of role is still quite rare in Wuthering Wave. As for the downside of Shorekeeper, or some things to note, that there's a couple of them I want to mention. Like if you decide to put Shorekeeper with her signature weapon, then her rotation in general, it's pretty long compared to, let's say, Farina, because her signature weapon you need to trigger signature. It's not like as fast like if you equip variation on Farina. So because of that, it can be like took you quite a long time in terms of on-field. But yeah, it's not really a super big deal, I think, in general for casual. But I think if some people really want to play like quick swap gameplay, especially like hologram, then can be a little bit troublesome. Another thing about Shorekeeper is that her team rotation in terms of timing, it's quite limited, because if you want to utilize literally the maximum damage to utilize the special intro, then you need to act like in specific amount of time. If you already passed that time, then yeah, you will miss that, which is quite unfortunate. You cannot maximize your damage, which is sometimes can be annoying. And as for my recommendation for you to pull for Shorekeeper, which is first, if you still need a good healer and including buffer character that universal, again, universal, that's not only like limited to like certain like gimmick, this is literally for every damage, then yeah, pull for Shorekeeper, because very rare right now in terms of this type of character role. And second, if you don't have Farina, please get Shorekeeper. Literally she can help you by a lot. I have my friend doesn't have like Farina, it's literally living hell until she has Shorekeeper. So literally if you don't have Farina, no, get Shorekeeper, because Baiji alone it's not really great. And third is that if you're a new player, I think getting also Shorekeeper is really safe. It's really safe investment, just because she can just mostly work in every single type of team. And lastly, of course, if you like the character and gameplay, feel free to pull for Shorekeeper. As for Shorekeeper, should you pull for the early resonant chain or the signature weapon, then I can say it very depends on which stopping point or your feature that you want to invest in your Shorekeeper. If you only decide to go to S1, then I can say weapon still a little bit better, just because it has some buffing capabilities. But I want to give you notes again, her weapon is literally not that significant into Shorekeeper at all. If you have variation, I already make comparison, it's just very small. It's only maybe 8 seconds faster if you do like Tower Adversity. It's just really small, but at least it's better compared to S1. It's nice, it's quality of life, like the duration of your special intro, that your time limit, it's kind of increased. It's technically good, but I don't think it's really something I say wow. I'm not real increasing range of healing. I don't really think that also that's quite useful. So because of that, I still prefer to go for the signature weapon. However, if you decide to go to S2, you have like future like say investment that you really want to get like S2, you want to commit on her, then yes, S2 will be better than signature weapon, just because the attack will increase by 40% for all party. Is just really good. It's miles better than signature weapon. So I would say in very general, if you just care about short-term investment, then go signature weapon. Right? If you care about long-term investment, or you plan at least to get her more copies to get to S2, then yeah, just go with the sequence and aim for S2. And in the end, if you ask my verdict which one we should pull in 2.2, then my answer will be Shorekeeper. Just because Shorekeeper type of role is still very rare in Wuthering Wave. Technically only Farina. So because of that, like we don't know when this type character will back. The type character like Cantarella type of buff, or even like main DPS, at least Camellya really strong, but we can have another alternative. Literally now for Shorekeeper only Farina. So because of that, it's rare, and she's also universal, can match with most of the team. So because of that, I think it's just really good. It will be the safest choice among all. So yeah, in the end, I will choose for Shorekeeper. However, I want to give you a reminder that we'll almost reach an anniversary. So I think before you pull, better to wait for the first anniversary live stream and decide with that. So yeah, I hope that can be helpful. If you like this video, feel free to hit subscribe button and like, and also next time. Bye bye.